what about our
You
next
got
topic?
another topic you want to talk about today?
I do have another topic I'd like to
Yeah.
talk about.
Yes. What is it, sir?
The topic that I would like to talk about is great 1970s TV shows.
Ooh, okay. I've got a couple ideas.
Go ahead.
Top of my bat, right off the top of my head. Um, well, we talked about this before. A TV show that can't be made anymore. Three's Company.
Three's Company. That was one of the several that are at the top.
Lori.
That is a great show.
It's a great show. It can't be done the same way that it was back then. Just
The
because
late
social
John Ritter,
norms
yeah.
have changed and all that, which is not saying bad or good, but it just is. But it was, for its time, it was really a funny show. And the funny thing is, back then, when people left TV shows, they really didn't survive.
In what sense?
You know, it's like, oh, the person left the show. It's like, well, the show's over.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Well, Suzanne Summers left that show, right? And she was.
Actually, the landlords left.
Right. It was it the Ropers first, and then Mr. Furley came in?
Yep, Ropers were first, and they said, well, let's give them a TV show because they're really funny.
Yeah.
And then
that
they got
didn't work out
like
as well.
They got killed, and they left, you know, all that. So.
Yeah, no, that.
What about you? What do you think?
Larry. Right, that was the Jack Sprat and Larry.
Yeah. Here's a good trivia. What did Larry do for a living?
Oh my goodness gracious! Was he some sort of salesman?
No.
You got me. I don't know.
He was an airline pilot.
No.
Yes, he was.
Larry was an airline pilot with those suits?
Larry was a pilot. Yeah. Don't know what airline.
Every time I think of Larry, I think of there was a little bit of a risque video game called Leisure Suit Larry.
Leisure Suit Larry. I've heard of it. Not played it. I've heard of it.
And that always reminds me of it. I don't know if that maybe they got that from Larry, but he was a big leisure suit guy.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised. Aaron, wow, that's interesting.
Yep.
Did not know that.
Yep.
That's a good one.
I at one time, maybe we could talk about this as off the air more, but as a business venture. One of my other favorite TV shows, but this was in the 80s, called Cheers. It was a bar.
Right.
I want to start a bar, and I want to call it the Regal Beagle.
Regal Beagle.
That would be great.
And as you know, the Regal Beagle is the bar from Three's Company that they would spend a lot of time in.
Right, and it sounds very British, Regal Beagle. But
it's a great name. Yeah.
I remember looking at that bar to think, in my mind's eye, I'm like, man, that was definitely a 70s look, that bar. I mean, obviously it was.
Great bar. Velour. Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah. You know who was Leisure Suit Larry on TV?
Nah.
Mr. Furley.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. He did that too. Yeah.
Yep.
A couple of the characters on there were very, very fond of the loud suits.
Well, that was the 70s, man. That was just, I don't know what the hell they were thinking in the 70s when they made plaids and stripes go together. But
anyway, that actually leads me into what might be my all-time favorite, and I know you like it as well, but this 70s show is this would be not my all-time favorite show, but perhaps probably my all-time favorite comedy from the 70s.
Okay.
Herb Tarlick wore leisure suits.
Oh, you gotta have.
is
Yeah.
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Was that in the 70s?
In fact, yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I thought it started in the 80s, but early 81 or something. But yeah.
So
He just died, you know.
I know, very
I,
sad.
I
Supposedly
think
great guy. Everybody
I might
loved
have
him.
texted you about that too. I can't remember if
Yeah,
I did or not. But I shed a tear for Herb Tartle when I heard he died.
Herb Darling.
Yeah, I was bummed, man. I was like, that's my childhood.
Yeah, that.
This is sad that when I first saw him when I was young and I saw those suits, I didn't think there was a problem with his suits. I thought they were okay.
Oh,
You know, and now I was
more than
like,
okay, Mike.
how were
They're
they thinking
fine.
in the 70s? What the absolute hell were they thinking in the 70s with that? And I remember wearing clothes like that as a kid.
Oh,
Like,
all the
what?
time. I go back to all these pictures. It cracks my. It's
Yeah.
funny. It's
And
just funny.
our parents bought this stuff for us. What were we thinking?
You know, they say all this stuff comes back though. So
I know, but that scares the hell out of me. It
you think
absolutely
it's fair?
does. Why?
It
Bell
yeah.
bottom.
It's
No,
yeah.
polyester.
So anyway, the WKRP had one particular, well, not just one, there was many, but there was one specific show that was based around a holiday that might have been
Absolutely.
the
Yes.
very best show about this holiday ever.
Here, again, we could talk about specific episodes, specific holiday shows of all types, bar none. My absolute favorite
Yeah.
holiday episode of any TV show of all time is the Thanksgiving episode of WKRP in Cincinnati. It is classic. It is the top episode ever. And I love some of the Christmas stuff and all that stuff. Some of it's schmaltzy and all that crap, but this one was I if it's on and I see it, I throw away the remote so I can watch it. I have to watch
So the show was called Turkeys Away.
it.
The name
Turkeys
of the
away.
show. And
Yes,
it was about a scheme to drum up business.
right. WKRP for people who don't remember.
It was a promotion, Thanksgiving promotion.
They were a down and out radio show.
Mr. Carlson, the station owner, came up with this promotion. He was always trying to impress his
He's not a
mom.
really smart man. Let's just put it that way. His mother,
And Les and Herb gave him some help
right?
on in turning what was supposed to be just a routine giveaway of turkeys, kind of into
Utter physical disaster. All the humanity.
So they did a they, instead of just giving the turkeys away,
No, they can't give a turkey away. Just
you
no.
can't just give them away. They rented a helicopter and they dropped them.
Yeah.
What's the problem with that, Mike?
Turkeys can't fly.
Turkeys.
And the funny thing is, what started off really funny is because Les Nessman, who's the news guy on the show, was part of this whole thing. And he's looking up in the screen and in the sky. He goes, "Oh, there's a banner flying behind the helicopter. Happy Thanksgiving." It's like, you know this is supposed to happen. You don't. And then you want
Can't
to
quite make it out.
Quite make it. Oh, what a sight, ladies and gentlemen! What a sight! As he's seeing the banner that he knew about.
So
Great.
so anyway,
So
they ended
what
up.
happens next, Rich?
Well, they dropped the turkey.
They literally dropped probably 100 turkeys. I don't remember how much they said.
And as one of the characters put it, they hit the ground like bags of wet cement. And in the meantime, they're doing a live
Yeah.
broadcast
Live
covering WKRP, the station that's doing promotion,
out,
is covering it live.
in the parking lot of a mini mall somewhere in Cincinnati.
And then the turkeys launched a counterattack.
Right, because they figured, well, this is going well, so we'll land and throw out the turkeys out of the helicopter, so they can just land on the ground by like 2 feet or 3 feet, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So then they mounted a counterattack against the people, so they were all over the parking lot. And it's like, oh, the humanity.
Like, oh my God.
And then at the end they come in. It's like Les comes in and he's all messed up. And Les, are you okay? He goes, it was undescribable. I can't tell you what it was like. And then he talks about the counterattack and the turkeys, and he talks about everything. And the other two, Carlson and Herb, come in. And he goes, I thought it was going to work. So they walk into the office. They come back out in the main room, and he goes, as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. And they're all messed up. Their hair's all over the place. Their coat and clothes are ripped from the turkey claws and all that. It's hysterically fun. It's the best. I have to think about this. I have to do a Google search sometime and just say best holiday episodes on television. And it has to be number one, but I don't even know what's number two. What do you have? Anything else for number two on Hill? Or do we want to wait? Do a deep dive?
What are we talking about? The best holiday?
Best holiday. Let's weigh in.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of good holiday. Well, I think it's some holiday movies, for example.
Holiday movies are different. Yeah, I'm just talking
but that probably a different topic. But
yeah.
It's I'm trying to think of another holiday TV show
right
that rivals that, and I can't. Nothing's coming right to mind.
No, I cannot figure it out right now. It's one of those things we're gonna have to do a deep dive on sometime soon, and try to figure out. Maybe after Labor Day, when we're getting into that holiday spirit, closer like October maybe.
Right.
We can do something.
Yeah.
The holidays are coming up. What are our favorite episodes from TV shows about the holidays? Not any kind of holiday,
So back to the
yes.
great 70s shows.
Great 70s shows.
What do you prefer? These are kind of almost one and the same. They're tied very closely. Are you a Happy Days or a Laverne and Shirley guy?
I was both. I of course like Happy Days first. I got out of Laverne and Shirley after, well, quite a while. It took a little while, but once they moved to California, that kind of ruined the show for me. And the other one, Shirley left. She left the show at that point, and I was like, well, she might have been there for 1 year, but then she left the show, and I was like, it was okay. It was Happy Days was much better, but by the end,
big fan of Lenny and Squiggy though.
Oh yeah, you gotta have those guys. Yeah. Yep. And I can't believe Michael McKean, who played Lenny, is still going strong with the acting, and he's really good. I never suspected he would be that.
Oh, Michael McKean, yeah, he's done everything. I mean, the guy,
great.
It's amazing. He's in Better Call Saul now, which is coming into the final season.
I never got into that because I never got into Breaking Bad when it was on.
Right.
So I tried to watch it on Netflix. I think it was Netflix, like last year. And I got maybe into the second season, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of know what happens. I don't really need to watch this anymore because I'm kind of it wasn't exciting to me like it would have been probably if I'd watched it as it was happening, kind of thing, So
What about the Love Boat?
Oh, you had to watch The Love Boat. Number one, when we were growing up, we had 3 channels. We had ABC, CBS, and NBC. So you had slim pickings, okay?
Yeah.
Really slim. So it's like, you're watching The Love Boat. And I've seen The Love Boat on one of these other cable channels now that we have, like out of 1,000 channels.
Right.
And I'm channel surfing. It was like on a Sunday night, Sunday afternoon. They had like 3 back-to-back episodes, like around 4 to 6 or whatever, 4 to 7. It's like, oh, what's this? Like, oh, The Love Boat. And I'm watching this, and I'm like, what garbage? No, I mean, it's like, what were we thinking when we watched this? And then I'm like, oh yeah, this is all we had. You know, this is all we had. So we loved it. You know,
some of it was fantastic. Love Boat, Fantasy Island.
I was just about to say something about Fantasy Island. And do you know I was watching, I think Fox last night. They're gonna do a new Fantasy Island show with a female. I think she's Rourke, but I'm not sure if she's playing Mr. Rourke or if it's just she's
right. Yeah.
of the island.
Yeah.
And I remember they tried to bring it back once before, and it didn't work. And I can't remember who the main character, the Mr. Rourke-esque character was, the actor. I can't remember if it was a male or female. Might have been a female back then too, but I can't remember. I was going to try to watch it, but it just didn't do anything for me.
It can't be all bad when they're remaking. I got another one here that they're doing that they've already done now is Starsky and Hutch, right? And now
he did the movie.
It's
right.
They're remaking a lot of these into movies. They're rebooting the TV shows.
Yeah, this was a 70s show, but I think it was the USA Network.
Right.
The show called The 4400 a few years, maybe 10, 15 years ago, maybe by now. Where it was basically all the people that got abducted by aliens showed up one day at this, like, I think it was an Air Force base or something like that.
Right.
And they had to be reintegrated into the society, and they were given strange powers and abilities and all of that from the aliens. And the whole story was trying to figure out what they were, what happened to them, what were the aliens, that abducted them. But they're bringing that back. And I'm like, wow. I was like stunned. It's like, I want to see it just to compare it because I loved the first series. I want to see how they do with the second series. If it's any good, it's crap. How about this?
Yeah.
I was just thinking about this. Oh shoot! I just had something in my brain that just remade. I can't remember.
While you're thinking, let me ask you if Boss Hogg brings a show to mind.
Yeah, Dukes of Hazzard. Loved Dukes of
Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard was great.
Luke Duke.
And it was great until Bo and Luke left for that season. They left because of money issue. 7 seasons in or something like that. I can't remember. And then they brought their cousins in to do it, and they're like, oh look, they're just buffer versions of Bo and Luke Duke. And Coy and Vance, that was their names.
Right.
So
there was some, and there's another. Remember Daisy Duke? That's where they get the shorts from, right? Daisy Dukes, right? They have
who the hell
Daisy Duke shorts.
Who the hell wasn't in love with Daisy Duke? I don't know anybody. I mean, it was amazing.
And some really great.
I remember. I was going to say, this is a sci-fi show. Battlestar Galactica.
That's a good one.
Good one.
Yeah, I love that show.
Did you see the remake on the sci-fi?
I believe I did see pieces of it, but again, they're rebooting all this.
They're rebooting that again. The Battlestar Galactica on the Paramount Network. I think it's Channel 3, CBS.
Right.
I think that's their online version now. They're going to be doing a new Battlestar Galactica. I'm like, really? The second one was so great.
So the fact that, they all these origins, despite the fact maybe they're campy or whatever in the 70s, they were, good enough to reboot sometimes, 3 times, 4 times.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we started off talking about Three's Company. You could remake Three's Company, no problem. And if you really looked at television shows,
it would be hard to do.
You couldn't do the way they did it.
They could do the way they did
with the innuendos and stuff like that. You
Too
couldn't do
many
it.
innuendos. Yeah.
But if you really looked at TV now, since that went off the air in like 83, I think it was, 82, something like that. If you really looked at that, that kind of setup, you've probably seen that on TV already like 10 times. I mean, the roommates thing,
right? The roommates,
the
yeah.
other girl kind of thing,
kind of evolved into sort of friends or whatever. Yeah,
it's been there, but it's not called Three's Company. It's called The Other Girl, where it was her living with 2 guys, as far as I remember. I didn't really know after like the first 3 episodes. It didn't work. But it's that kind of a thing, and she was kind of like a hippie, bohemian, wackadoodle kind of thing compared to the 2 other guys. But as far as I remember, again, I don't remember too much about the show. But and then she left, and they brought another girl in, and blah 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 blah. But so I think you've seen these things happen, but it's just packaged slightly different and evolved from when it was in the 70s.
It's evolved, yeah. It's repackaged, innuendo
removed. More palatable to this, whatever era you're in. Sensitivities change and all of that, which is fine, which is good. But I'm not saying anything negative about that. It's just that, I think somebody
great stories though, right? I mean,
great story. Yeah, they're pretty much the same story. I mean, there's only really like five stories in this whole world, and we just changed 5 themes of a story, and we just kind of play around with characters.
What are the 5?
I don't know that, but I'd have to look it up. But somebody said there's only like literally like only 5 stories in this entire world, and then we just mix and match people and places and things that kind of make quote unquote new stories. But I mean,
man versus man versus nature, man versus
something like that. Yeah, something like that. But I mean, really, if you watch any lawyer shows, like LA Law from the 80s,
right?
And you've got Ally McBeal. Are they really anything different than one another? No, they're just packaged slightly differently.
Packaged different, yeah.
Because they got good actors or bad actors, depending on the storylines are pretty much the same.
That's a good point. I mean, they kind of retelling the same thing over and over. Mike,
William Shatner did a show with I'm Denny Crane. He was a lawyer, so it was basically the same thing. It's just packaged differently, make it seem more relevant and more now.
So, agreed, and kind
Any other 70s shows? I had forgotten a couple of them.
Yeah, well, you want me to?
Go ahead, keep going.
All right, if I were to, I'm going to give you a couple names here and see if you could get the show. I'm going to give you 2 names, Gabe Kaplan and John Travolta.
Oh, yeah. Welcome Back, Kotter.
Welcome Back, Kotter, which has a couple of the best names ever. Yeah. Vinny Barbarino was one of the characters. That was the one played by John Travolta. Yep. Here's my favorite. Arnold Dingfelder Horshack.
What was the middle name? Dingfelder?
Dingfelder.
Dingfelder.
AKA Horshack.
Holy crap.
What about this one? Freddie Percy, Boom Boom Washington.
Freddie Boom Boom Washington.
Boom
Hi
Boom
there.
Washington.
Hi there. I remember.
And then one of the minor
And
characters.
then Epstein's mother. Remember whenever you get in trouble, you hand them a note and say, signed Epstein's mother.
Epstein's mother.
Oh my God. That was a great show. That was a definite 70s show. It just, remember Gabe Kaplan and his wife there were in that little bitty apartment?
Right.
And the guys would come in through the window, to visit them.
Yeah.
It was just really a weird. It looked like a 70s show because it obviously was, but I mean, it just had that. You can watch it now. It's like, well, when did this happen? Oh, it's definitely the 70s. Some shows.
Great theme song though. I love the introductory
Yeah.
montage. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
They're dribbling the ball, right? And
What's that?
the basketball. They were dribbling the basketball. Boing, boing, boing. You remember the theme song? Maybe not.
Yeah. Welcome back, Kotter. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah.
Right. And then maybe it was. I think that was either the intro or the closing, and then they had another one. They were.
Oh no, you're thinking maybe about. Are you thinking about What's Happening?
Is that What's Happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me, Mike.
Yeah.
And that was the one with the basketball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And What's Happening was the famous cassette fell out onto the floor episode, right? Wasn't that or was that What's Happening? Yeah, where Rerun went and recorded a concert.
Yeah.
And the cassette player fell out of his trench coat. My God.
That's right. Yes.
if they only knew what happened today in these days, because there used to be a big deal. You couldn't record a concert. Now everybody records everything. Nobody thinks twice about it.
Right.
But that was like, oh my God, he was trying to record a concert, and now it's encouraged.
Yeah.
It's just funny how the times have changed. So he had he got busted trying to make a bootleg of a concert he was attending.
I forgot about that. I did watch that, but I don't really remember too much about it. Leroy Rerun and somebody else, I think it was.
Yeah.
I can't remember. And they had the little sister. One of them had a little sister. And I think the mother, wasn't she well, there was a mother, and then there was a woman who worked at the soda shop or something. Can't remember right now, but that was a good show.
Yeah, so you're right. I think I confused those two themes.
Yeah, and then there's they had I think they brought it back once for a little while called What's Happening Now.
What's Happening Now? Yeah.
A few years later, they brought it back, and that lasted maybe a season or something. I can't remember, but by that time I was like, no, I'm not watching it again.
So I'm looking around to see if we missed anything here. We didn't talk about $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman.
Oh, yeah. How did we miss those? Those are great. They were talking about remaking $6 Million Man as a movie for
they should.
decades. Jim Carrey somehow got attached to it.
Right.
And it's both. I assume it's going to be a comedy, but again, you've probably, if you could think about it, seen those shows remade already into something similar, robots or something. But for those times, man, those were good TV shows. Great. I mean,
good enough to go back and watch certain episodes again.
Easily. Oh, I've done it because during COVID I wasn't going anywhere, so I was channel surfing, and I can't remember what channel it was. They had on the $6 Million Man at like 10 o'clock in the morning, or 11 o'clock in the morning, and then they had, I think, the Bionic Woman, or it might have been vice versa. Can't remember. But I would watch them and I'm like, oh, what's this? Like, oh, this is one of the Bigfoot episodes from $6 Million Man. So I'd watch it. And I was like, this is great. I remember being scared as hell about, Bigfoot.
The Bigfoot, yeah.
Scared the crap out of me when I was.
It's terrifying. That was well before we had our Freddy Krueger and
Freddy
Michael
Krueger.
Meyer, and I think all those slasher types of really came in, I think, in the 80s.
Right, 81, 82, something like that.
Yeah, so this was before that. Bigfoot was the big fear.
Yep.
So,
I just had another one I was going to mention today. Oh, The Incredible Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk. Yes.
Remember that TV show? I think that was.
Hulk. That was Bill Bixby, right? Wasn't that Bill Bixby?
You know what freaked me out about that show?
What's that?
The Hulk did not freak me out as much. You know what freaked me out about that show?
I do not know.
When Banner would turn into the Hulk, and his eyes changed to that like greenish kind of color.
Yeah.
When they put the contact lenses in,
Sure.
I think it was supposed to be a light green, but it kind of looked weird on the TV. It was weird.
Yeah.
Get washed out or something. Every time he turned his face, and they had that weird kind of music that signaled the turn. He would turn his head, his eyes would pop open with the contact lenses in there.
Yeah.
Freaked me out every set. As soon as I knew it was going to happen, I turned my head. I will admit that. Once he turned, I was cool.
Yeah.
The eyes freaked me out terribly. No. Ugh.
It's pretty scary stuff back in that time.
I've seen it later. I still see it and it still freaks me out. And I'm an old man. Older guy.
So no, I agree. I'm on board with you, man.
Jamie Summers, yeah. Again, one of those that you kind of had the thing for. When at our age, we were watching.
I did. Yeah, yep. I did. I had my. Did you have you didn't happen to have the Farrah Fawcett poster, did you?
I did not. I'm not a big person about buying stuff.
You didn't do that? Okay. Yeah, I
know.
The bathing suit. You know what I'm talking about? The iconic.
The most iconic bathing suit ever. It has to be.
Fantastic.
But I've never been one of these people to buy just to decorate my room for the stuff. I don't know why, but it's like, I don't need it. I don't need to clutter up my bedroom with posters and crap that just gonna stay there and probably gather dust. I don't know. But I mean, Charlie's Angels. Yes, I've seen the show. Of course, we all did. It's a '70s show.
Right.
Wonder Woman was a '70s show.
Barbara Bach.
I loved Linda Carter.
Was that Oh, you're right. That was Linda Carter. Barbara Bach was Daisy Duke. You're right. That was Linda. It was Linda Carter. You're right. Barbara Bach was Daisy Duke.
Barbara Bach was Daisy Duke. Yeah. I mean, how the hell could you not love those shows?
Great stuff.
Yeah. They actually tried to bring back Wonder Woman a few years, maybe 10 years ago or something, and it just died. Unfortunately, it didn't get past the pilot.
Give a movie.
They did do a pilot, but it just didn't. It was terrible.
Gal Gadot, right? Is that right? Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
In the movie,
yes.
Right? So again, a '70s show launching, something else, right?
Yep. Again. The Wonder Woman movies. The Wonder Woman movies are the best. Some of the best movies in the DC extended universe. What they call the, great character, great actors doing it. They're just starting, I think, Monday. Going off the topic slightly, but it's kind of a topic because they had the Super Friends cartoon in the '70s on Saturday mornings. Aquaman 2 is going to start filming, I think, next Monday. they start filming in Hawaii. I'm looking forward to that because I like Jason Momoa. Can you pause this for a second? I got a phone call.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
All right, here we go.
All right, cool. So we were. Oh yeah. Aquaman 2 is supposed to be starting up pretty soon. That I've been looking forward to seeing too. There's, they were good. I hope they do something more with the Justice League, because I think did you see the remake or the Snyder cut of the Justice League movie?
I don't think I did, Mike.
Oh, you got to. Did you see the original Justice League movie that came out in theater?
I'm not sure that I did.
Oh, okay. With what the heck is? I'm trying to think of the name of the character. I can't remember. Anyway, if you get a chance, see it. It's the Snyder cut that did make the theaters. They put it on HBO Max. So if you don't have HBO, I don't know if you can, but
yeah, some of the extended cuts are very good.
Oh, it's 4 hours long, I think.
Yeah.
It is so much better than the theatrical version.
Well, they just don't want a theatrical movie to be that long.
Right.
So, but sometimes
but what happens?
It should be that long.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because what they did was Snyder almost finished the movie, but then his daughter died. I think she killed herself. I could be wrong, but she died. So he left the movie. I mean, it was like, I think he was still cutting it or something. I think principal photography had ended and he was editing it when this happened. And he obviously had to leave. So they got the other guy, Miller, I think it was, to re-edit, and he reshot a whole bunch of stuff for the movie.
Right.
And of course, then it came out, and nobody liked it. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I thought it was a good movie. It wasn't great, but it was good. And then, people are like, we need the Snyder cut. We need the Snyder cut. We need the Snyder cut. And they put in quite a bit extra stuff that had been cut from the original movie. That makes the movie much more sense. I mean, it was like, oh, that's why they did this. Oh, that's why she said this, kind of thing. It makes the story much more believable and coherent.
Right.
So I was like, okay, yeah, it's 4 hours long. I did it in 2 nights. But it was really good. So if you like that kind of thing, I don't know. We've talked about the Marvel movies before that. So I wish they would get better at the DC extended universe, the movies. But I think the Flash movie is going to be really good when they finish it. They're filming that now. But they just can't seem to get Batman and Superman right. So I don't mind the Superman movies that they've done, but the Batman movie, Robert Pattinson's doing one next year, and I'm interested, but I'm also very scared.
Right.
So, but we digress from 70s movies or 70s TV shows. But we did kind of connect them because they had the cartoon in the 70s that we watched as a kid.
So is there anything else that we want to talk about around the 70s shows?
I'm trying to remember. Knight Rider was in the 80s. I remember that. I'm trying to remember what the heck was in the 70s. We had the Jeffersons. Jeffersons were starting the 70s, right?
Jeffersons were the 70s, yeah.
They were good.
George Jefferson and Wheezy.
George and Wheezy. They were good shows, man. They were funny. What else was there? Oh, you had All in the Family.
All in the Family. Yeah. Alice.
That was based on a movie.
One Day at a Time.
One Day at a Time. Now, who the hell didn't and still doesn't love Valerie Bertinelli?
Yeah, phenomenal.
Plus,
Yeah,
she was married to one of my favorite musicians of all time, Eddie Van Halen.
Eddie Van Halen.
Unbelievable. So, yeah, I enjoyed that show. Again, you can really tell a show by their what they say, what they do, and
Yeah,
politics at the time, because these really are '70s shows. You can
they are
tell,
70s. Yeah,
you can tell by not only the way they dress, and talk, and all that, but the topics they talk about and the way they talk about the topics. Um, it was a different era, so um, but yeah, I loved all of those shows. I've forgotten about some of them until we just talked about them. Good, uh, One Day at a Time, that was great. Alice, that lasted a lot longer than I expected it to last. Actually, that was based on a movie called Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Know that?
no,
In
no.
fact, I think the guy who played Mel on that show, he was in the movie. I think. I could be wrong.
So that was a movie that preceded the show. So the
Right.
show came from. So it was the movie first, then the show.
Right.
Interesting.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, the son, Michael McKean, played Tommy on that show. His
Right.
sister, Nancy McKean, she is, first of all, his sister. She played Mallory on Family Ties. Did you know that? Okay. A little bit of
Yeah,
trivia.
that's right. I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So, but yeah, that was a good show. That was, again, how can you make a show about people working in a diner? And they did it. Somehow they
And they
figured
did.
it out.
Yeah.
It, I didn't
No.
like some of these shows that did like, oh, let's do the musical episode, or let's do, you know, the variety show episode. It's like, oh, don't do that. I don't want to hear about this stuff. I don't want to hear singing and dancing. I just want comedy. These are all comedies trying to do something different.
Yeah.
That's just me. I just like, they're doing a play. It's like the Brady Bunch did that one time. They put on a play or something for their. Remember when they did the play in their backyard, Snow White or something like that? I can't remember.
You're trying to. Yeah.
And I think it was for one of their outgoing teachers or something. But
Right.
again, I was like, nah, this is not. I don't like it. So that was an episode I didn't really care for. Those kind of things where they just go from musical number to musical number. It's like there's no story here. It's just a filler episode as far as I can tell.
All right. So just wrapping up here. Anything else we need to say, or you think we've hit it pretty well?
I think we did pretty good for our second episode tonight. We had some good topics. We had about the fair, 70s show, and 70s shows, and James Bond.
James Bond. Yeah.
Can't go
Several
wrong.
good ones. Do you want to
Quite the
tell them?
different group of topics tonight.
There's an eclectic group. Yeah.
Yes. Something hopefully for everybody. We had music, we had television, we had current events type of stuff. So yeah, anything you can think of there, Rich?
Yeah. I just well, we don't want to forget the big news about the guest next week.
Oh yes, the Rich's favorite band, 98 Degrees. We couldn't fit them in this week, so they will be here next week.
Next week.
We're
So,
get the bump.
we're looking forward to that.
Yep.
98 Degrees.
Rich is going to accompany them with the cowbell.
I just may.
The
I may sit in.
official musical instrument of the other guy's
It's the
2020.
official musical instrument of the other guy's show.
Right.
So I guess comment, like, subscribe.
Comment, like, and subscribe to our page, please. We
Comment,
need people. We
subscribe.
want suggestions. Please comment ideas about what you like. Again, remember, this is a work in progress. We're trying to do good. Something new. Hopefully this will be fun for you guys to listen to. Guys and ladies. That's sexist here. Give us suggestions on what we can talk about in our future episodes. Something, you might want to know. Maybe we'll get into some informational topics, not just, riffing off of a certain subject.
I think it's
Learning about a
variety, so we can do what we want, and then we'll see where it goes.
Our baby here, we can do whatever we want.
Do whatever we want. So it's a
Yeah,
variety.
I had to put topic-wise because this is still YouTube, so there are things we can't do. We'd like to do some things, but can't. We're gonna try. As you can tell, try not to swear. I mean, you can. I think maybe some. There might be some problems with that on YouTube, but I don't know. But we don't want to. I personally. They say that if somebody who swears has a great big vocabulary. I have not found that to be the case, usually. Dropping F-bombs every 3 or 4 words. That's all they're saying. You're not going to have a huge vocabulary because of that. What do you think, Rich?
You can spice things up that way, but it shouldn't be every other word.
I don't see a problem spicing things up, but I mean, like comedians that we've gone to see live, and they just keep swearing and swearing and swearing and swearing. Yeah, it's kind of funny, but after a while,
well, if you start leaning on that, then
they lean on it, and you're not really doing anything
right, other than saying that.
Right. Oh, this is great. I'm swearing. Everybody loves it. Like, give us a story. Give us something to laugh about other than you just being somebody up there swearing all the time. But
anyway.
being physically crude on stage too doesn't do anything for me either. So you gotta be funny as well as on top of. You can be crude sometimes, but and there was one time we went. Were you with me or something? And the guy was just. We were sitting like in the front row, I think, too. And the guy was just doing obscene things on the stage, and I was like, "Why is he doing this?"
Yeah, sometimes it's a little. It's just shock value. It's not really comedy.
Value thing, and it's like, guys, there's other ways to, do the. I got to take off my glasses. Other ways to be funny that, frankly, are much better. So.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching tonight.
Thank you very much.
And
comment, like, subscribe, and
we will see you next week with Rich's favorite band, 98 Degrees.
98 Degrees. All right.
All right.